just as a reminder, if you didn't catch last week, stand up if your club won a trophy. Stand up if your club won a trophy this year. Stand up.
The Champions League, Max.
If your club won a trophy this year, let's go. We're starting now.
You're not.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome in on a Tuesday to the PHNX Rising podcast. We got the whole crew here. I am the Europa League winner myself.
No, you're not, man.
On extension of Spurs. This is the PHX Spurs podcast, the PHX Rex podcast, PHX Arsenal Suns podcast. We got all here. I am Max Simpson, and I'm joined to my right. We have Owain, the Oracle Evans. And to his right, we also have Rees, the stat lackey, the glizzy guzzler, the
Champions League winner.
Yeah, how does it feel to be champions of Europe?
Best feeling in the world.
Here's the thing. I know they won like a second tier tournament, but you guys won the big one, right?
You know,
that's fair.
Second time winning Champions League.
That's fair. Here's the thing.
Have you
it's just amazing because on last Wednesday, it was just one of the most beautiful scenes where, you know, Spurs won a trophy and now no one can say anything. No empty cabinet.
Then
nothing.
Just wait until Saturday and you saw Arsenal lift the Champions League trophy. So
I mean, you know,
they won up to you, mate.
That's fine. And you know what? You guys have a good pedigree. That's all well and good, but you can banish your Spurs jokes. They're gone. They're gone.
You don't have a Champions League.
You don't change things in one season, mate.
This is fair. Yes. Well, of course, as he's doing the good work where you can't even see him, and he'll hop on the mic in just a little bit. We also have Damon Dog coming back, helping out, pinch hitting for the pod, as they say. A little super sub action behind the brand redacted computer. We got a big show, as always. By the way, welcome everyone in the chat.
I mean, Damon's already laughing at you at this point, mate.
No, he's laughing at something else. We got everyone in the chat.
With Max.
We got the Wilsons, James and Amanda. We got Devin. We'll get to videos, blooper. We got the Fat Kid. Everyone in the chat, leave a like on your way in here. Show appreciates it. We appreciate it, and all that jazz. Right? We got a couple upcoming matchups to talk about for Phoenix Rising. We're gonna start though a little bit of a different note. Right, Phoenix Rising parted ways with midfielder Giulio Doratiotto. Right, was with the club since beginning of that last season. Made 31 appearances across Rising, 15 starts, had 4 goal contributions during this season. But right, he's a guy who came to the club, a lot of pedigree, a lot of hype, especially right. You kind of hear about the recruiting trip going over to Italy, bring him in, a lot of the fanfare, and just while maybe in past regimes was utilized a little bit more, just a little bit of a different story this time around.
Yeah, it's one of those things whereby it can be a little bit much sometimes, you know, when you say that was the only reason maybe they went on that trip, because they did other things while they were there, but it was very much the main reason for them going on that trip, where they took club president Bobby Dooley, sporting director Brandon McCarthy, and the then head coach, which was, of course, Fangera, to go and get Giulio Doratiotto in. But ultimately, he never really made the impact, I think, that everyone kind of expected him to make when he got here. And you know, it didn't really find his way to feature in the way that you'd have hoped, right? I mean, yes, he has that spell, particularly at that one moment when Rising had the Open Cup. They had Detroit on the weekend. They were struggling with numbers. They were struggling to find a way to, ultimately get. I mean, God, I remember that Detroit game. They started Ryan Flood up top as the number.
That was also
right?
just a crazy goal by him out of absolutely nowhere.
Absolutely. But at the same time, you know, you can. I mean, obviously, Giulio, as an Italian speaker coming in, had his little bits of English, but sometimes that can always be a little bit of a barrier. And he's spent a lot of this season injured. it's one of those ones. It just didn't pan out. At the same time, you've got to be careful. Some of these international signings, you bring them in, and they don't always work out, right? Bringing in players from other parts of the US pyramid can be more predictable. Bringing in players from overseas, I think we see time and time again, some of them hit and some of them really miss.
Yep.
And it's not that I think that Doratiotto was necessarily bad over here, but it just never fully seemed to work out here.
I think a big part of why he didn't work out is just, he was very unlucky. I mean, Juan left, who was part of him coming to Phoenix. He had the injuries, which you mentioned, missed a few games last year. And it's just all those things coming together, moving across the country. I mean, from Italy, all those coming together just did not provide him with the best environment, best spot to be in. And I mean, it just is a move. Him leaving just makes the most sense for both sides. Unfortunately, it's just, you kind of have not cut your losses in a way, but you kind of have to with getting rid of him.
I mean, he's played under 3 managers in the space of that year and a half that he was here in Phoenix. And he was signed by a 4th.
He was.
So it's not like it's been a particularly stable environment for him to make that move as a youngster. But he was a really highly touted youngster.
He was.
I know that the club hierarchy viewed him very highly when they brought him in. That's why they went to the extreme of what they did when they took that many people over with them on this trip. Most of the time when you sign guys from overseas in this league, you don't really fly over to meet them or have them fly over to meet you before it's kind of a done deal. So it's interesting. Choosing to cut the losses now will free up an international spot. Obviously, you've got the Mo Traore situation as well with him getting his green card, so that also will remove him. So there will be some more room to maneuver. And I don't believe that when we look at where the club is right now, that they are done in that midfield. I believe there is more work to be done. And I don't mean that in a sense of, I think that they should sign someone. I believe the club is in the processes. So it's obviously still work in progress. I mean, the boring answer there from Vic van Verk, the club's assistant coach, in some of his comments yesterday that, the club are they're going to focus on the people they got here. They won't turn down the opportunity to bring more in if the right players become available. I think it's somewhat understood that the midfield hasn't necessarily lived up to the level they'd have liked over the course of the entire season. I think there'll be still some work to do there for the club.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, right, we've seen, especially at Giulio's position where he was playing, right, definitely in the last, 2 years, definitely a lot of guys who have come through that position, right? I think there are times, I don't want to necessarily say a log jam or down the pecking order, but certainly a position where, right, a lot of players were in that mix. I agree with Rees as well. You kind of combine the unluckiness of there were some injuries, there was different managers coming in and out, right? I mean, we illustrated, right, having to play for so many different managers, that's tough for everyone, let alone the main one who recruited you, right? Takes another opportunity before the season starts. Like, it's something where I think you saw, I don't want to even say flashes, but I think you very much were able to see on hand when he was given a run, a lot of the potential and the ability that he had. I just think he was a guy where, wasn't for, a couple different reasons, just wasn't able to nail down that long-term spot. And this is kind of where you see things fold out.
I mean, I agree with that potential. I mean, we saw it in slight spurts, the slightest of moments, a few, nice dribbles, which he was good at. He's good at progressing the ball, but he didn't do it often. His passing numbers just kind of perfectly average for a midfielder. Not a lot of duels either. But when he was making those moves, making those plays that you'd like to see out of a midfielder, especially in his role, you could see why he was with Juventus, why he was, once a highly touted youngster. But again, it just could not get put together over not even just a season, but really 90 minutes. I mean, can you really select a match from last season that he played and think, that was a great match for Giulio, or just, pick out 5-10 moments?
Sure.
But I think a big part of that, though, you bring up the fact that what he was doing in his role is I don't think this club really worked out his role.
I can agree with that.
I don't think that there was a consistent idea of what Giulio was going to be and what kind of role he would play in this team from game to game. I just don't think we really saw that.
Sure.
And that's in and of itself, right? You are coming in, you get in late anyway, because he did get in pretty late before the start of last season because of waiting on visa issues, which is pretty common occurrence, to be honest. It's I think something that the club will still be dealing with. It's sometimes these acquisitions, be they over the off season, be they mid season. And I mean, I know there are sometimes ways you can expedite them, but also to an extent you're kind of held up by the processes anyway as they are. He got in late. He didn't have a good full preseason with the team. I don't feel as though any of that really helped him to settle in here. Obviously, he was very close with Panos, right? In terms of just the Italian speaking, that's a huge part of things. Panos left mid-season last year. They don't find
that was last year.
I know, it feels like it's about 5 years ago. They don't find a real way to kind of pull him in, I think, on a playing side and make everything actually clear what the plan is there for him. No wonder he struggles to settle in at a young age when you move that far away from home and all of those different things are playing into it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of hit on the head of not necessarily defining his exact position, and I think that's in a way the jack of all trades, and I don't want to say master of none, because I think you saw that, he did have a long run within, I think especially at center mid position, even when he's in a kind of that hybrid number 10 role, I think that's really where I thought that was a lot of his best movement and a lot of his best decision making. But like, to your point, you kind of look at this season, last season, right? I mean, you're looking at who's in those position groups throughout the entire midfield, right? You're competing with, right, Arenzo Zambrano, who last season had that midfield spot pretty much locked down throughout the entire season when healthy, which pretty much was a constant. You're then battling for the other, two other positions, right? I mean, you would see, right, throughout his time, right, you're mixing in, okay, there's a Fede Varela, there's a Panos Marnakis within that number 10 role. You're seeing that there's a multitude of guys who can play that other number 8. And I think when you have that ability to play, either it is a deeper-ish kind of number 6 or more of that traditional 8, or even when he would play within the number 10 role, it's a beauty to have that positional versatility. But when you don't have that locked in one, and when you have guys who, for better or worse, they are kind of like, we're a number 10, and that's kind of what we are, or you were a number 6, that's what we are, it gives you a more defined role. And when he doesn't have that, you're kind of left with, you're kind of, in a way, maybe at the mercy of other guys' fitness on the roster.
Yeah. I was just going to say, Giulio's time with Rising as a whole kind of reminds me of when Panos was on the podcast probably, a year and a half ago now, and he was talking about his time in Italy, about how that was difficult for him to transition from living in Australia, how the manager got sacked there. I mean, it's very similar, and it's kind of ironic that those two grew close without even knowing Giulio's future. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting, right? I mean, right, Owen mentioning, we'll see, if and what, midfield reinforcements come in as this, club is, I want to say looking to replace the loss, but we're going to see what happens, right? Definitely got some guys, certainly in the mix, even within the team. And yeah, we'll just have to see kind of how this playing time is allocated and everything.
You'll see.
Anything further on this recent departure from Phoenix Rising?
I mean, it's one of those ones where I don't think you see an immediate impact just because he's not been around this season, really, with the injury issues that he's had. He's played for all of 1 minute plus stoppage time.
It is interesting
in one game.
We mentioned it last week with all the upcoming matches, especially you're playing in everything coming up, especially with the Gold Cup and all that stuff. It will be interesting, even if it's not a position with some of the guys who are going to be missing. It will be interesting of just, you're going to have less people to rely on, and now that's just one less for the time being.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Well, on the other side of the break, we're going to preview some of Phoenix Rising's upcoming matchups. Don't go anywhere. Well, it's that time. As always, got to talk about our friends at Circle K. Circle K, they got all the delicious snacks and beverages. Guys, I don't know if you realize this, but we're friends of like Circle K. We're friends of multiple teams out here, and I actually got a nice text because I signed up for Circle K's Inner Circle Rewards membership, and it's that darn easy to do. And because they have a partnership with the D-backs, I got a free coffee today, courtesy of Circle K. I got a nice nitro cold brew coffee from Circle K, because I got it right to my phone. I'm like, I'm going to go into my Circle K right around the corner from the condo that I live in. And yeah, nice cold coffee. That darn easy. It is for free. And all you have to do is sign up for their Inner Circle Rewards membership. Download the Circle K app today. Opt into their Inner Circle Rewards just with a phone number. Again, not going to tell you my phone number. You can use your own phone number. You can save 25 cents per gallon.
I'll tell you Max's phone number after the show.
No,
Yeah,
you can say 25.
I'll put it on the chat now, boys.
You can save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups and save 3 cents per gallon afterwards, even 5 cents per gallon to get to the max level. Also, they have a nice promotion going on throughout the summer. First off, they're having their fuel days, right? You can save 40 cents per gallon at participating locations on select days, as well as you can even save up to 50 cents per gallon if you fill up 5 times from now through July 1st. It's that easy. Save that money. Go to Circle K. They have locations throughout the valley. They are America's thirst stop. They're Arizona's thirst stop. Go download them today. Also, shout out to our friends at Branded Bills. Branded Bills, they got all the hats, right? We got hats to the left of us. Their limited edition run with the Arizona Diamondbacks, their hat. They have ASU. They also do some, as we like to say, some charity work with U of A. Sorry, Damon Dog. But Brandon Bills, they are everywhere. They are.
I can see the face that Damon's pulling right now.
Pulling
It's not a positive one.
This is Arizona's hat emporium. Brandon Bills. Go to brandonbills.com. Use promo code BBPHNX for 10% off your first order. That's BBPHNX. At brandonbills.com for 10% off your first order. Of course, we have our own hats, right? Our collaboration with Brandon Bills, wearing it all throughout the network. They are fantastic. The hats are quality. They have bucket hats. They have visors. It's great for the summertime. Now's the time to take advantage. Again, brandonbills.com. Promo code BBPHNX for 10% off your first order. Do it right now. Back. PHNX Rising podcast.
Yeah, we're back.
Hi, Max.
Hey, what's up? PHNX Rising.
Did I just hear that? What was that?
Whoa.
I'd like to move on as quickly as possible.
I'd really
from that,
like to move on as quickly as
We're
possible.
gonna marinate in it. We're gonna let percolate. Yeah, we're
No,
here.
we're not. Let's move on. Right. There's 2 games this week. 2 games.
I hear there's one tomorrow.
There is one tomorrow.
Phoenix Rising is going to Vegas.
Las Vegas Lights.
Las Vegas Lights, which in years past.
Max, are you going to sing the song?
Now copyright.
He could sing.
I can't sing.
He
Not
could
well.
sing. I
Not
bet
well.
you can
Don't
sing.
encourage him singing well, please.
Oh, but we should. It would be funny.
If we get to
How many likes?
we get to 15 likes, I'll sing.
15
By
likes.
the way, hold on for a second.
Right.
There are so many of you in the chat. Hit the darn like button. What are you doing? Support the pod. Support us. Support me. I'm trying to feed my family. PHNX Rising podcast. Yeah, Phoenix Rising, they're going away to Las Vegas Lights. In years past, we have seen that this is called what it is. It's been a cakewalk for Rising. Not so
I
in
don't
recent
know if it
form.
has been.
Not
That's
so
I
in
don't know if
recent
it
form.
ever
I'm
has
saying
been.
in years past.
no,
Not so
even in
recent.
recent, even in years past.
Yeah.
Vegas were
handful
like
of
Rising's
matches.
bogey team. They
Yeah.
were bad, but they'd still find a way to grind a win.
Okay, yeah, but when like the stakes actually matter, I mean, come on now.
Well, yeah, but they never played each other when the stakes mattered because
Yeah,
Vegas
it's
never
like
made
a
the
Vegas.
playoffs until last year.
I'm not saying it has to matter for them. I'm saying it has to matter for Rising. Anyway, in
Well,
recent...
they found a way to lose in 2018, which cost them home field advantage in the playoffs.
That's fair. In recent years, Vegas has been a bit of a, dare I say, I'm not going to say a fortress, but it's definitely been home field advantage for Las Vegas Lights, right? Bit of a revamped squad, right? Definitely made a run last year. It's not quite the same case this time around. Vegas currently 9th in the table outside of the playoff position, right? Sitting on 12 points across 10 matches. Phoenix Rising, again, have 1 more point than Vegas. Gents, what are we looking at, right? If you're looking at Vegas, who are the players to watch? Who is going to be the one to stand out from a Las Vegas Lights perspective?
I'm gonna go Raiko Rosarena just because the way Vegas likes to not have the ball. I mean, they're a good performance from a Rosarena is going to be key. I mean, Vegas have been a very, very, and I cannot stress this enough, very weird team this season. They've kept 6 clean sheets in the league. The other 4 games, they've conceded multiple goals each time. I mean, 5-0 versus Sacramento, they lost. 3-2 versus New Mexico. 4-1 loss versus Tulsa, and then a 2-1 loss versus El Paso.
Mm-hmm.
If a Rosarena has a good game, it could be trouble. Vegas's backline as a whole is a little bit clumsy. We've seen that the last couple of weeks, and if they make a mistake, the Rising really need to capitalize on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's reasonable. I'd honestly, to be frank, agree.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a big part of this one. They're an interesting team. Their average possession over the course of the season is 42%.
Yeah.
They are not a possession-based team.
So possession SC might
And
win
yet
again.
their passing is actually pretty accurate. They're 6th in the league in passing accuracy.
They've gone below 37% possession 3 times in the last 4 games. For Rising to have done that in 3 times, and you go back to 2018.
You do.
223.
Yeah.
I got that from the Ryan Sikora. So
I got that
Yeah.
one from, I think, Ryan Sikora's source as well.
shout out Ryan.
Course.
But that is just nuts. They just don't. But they're not. When they go forward, it's accurate at times. I mean, Johnny Rodriguez can be a good 9 for them, but it's just it lacks ideas when they get to the final third, which is very, very few opportunities for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting again. These are 2 teams. They know each other very well, at least
They're
historically.
actually, by the way, if he's talking about not getting into getting the opportunities. There are only 2 teams that have taken fewer shots than Vegas Lights in the entire league. Any guesses on who they are? One of them is really close. One of them is way off.
Gonna go Rhode Island.
No,
No.
Rhode Island are one of the higher teams. The one that's close is Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
That's
Who's the one that's far and away the worst in the league? Eastern Conference.
I should have. I
Eastern
just looked it
Conference.
up. I should have got it.
Give me
Come
a
on
guess.
now.
Eastern Conference.
Corey Herzog played there.
That doesn't know it.
Des Moines Menace.
They're not in the league. They're
No,
not in the
it's
USL Championship. It was Hartford Athletic.
It was Hartford. Okay.
Interestingly enough.
Yeah, I mean, right. 2 clubs historically known each other. Mendes, Bluebird. Vegas going to play Brexit ball. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I go quite that
Yeah.
far, but it's...
It is kind of hoof it up there. Get it to the forward.
Yeah. From Rising's perspective. I
Yeah,
mean-
their passing accuracy is really
Yeah.
quite high.
Oh, yeah. I mean, from Rising's perspective, right, we've seen, Rising, right, for, they are always going to leave a very interesting performance on the pitch, right? Again, as we said last time, riding the 4-match unbeaten streak in the league. 2 matches have won in their last 2 outings. What kind of Rising are we going to see, right? I mean, again, Rees, Owen and I were talking about it last week. Is this the Rising that's kind of turned the corner a bit? Is this something where we're going to see another consistent performance for a 3rd match in a row? What do we think?
I don't know. It's difficult to tell because 10-day break between games.
It's a long one.
You got to kind of warm back up after that. I do think Rising have taken some significant strides forward. I mean, the back line, I know they didn't really have too much to do against Monterey Bay, but against Houston and New Mexico really it looked like a different team at points than what we saw early in the season. I do worry about the attack in this game just because of Vegas's defensive nature. I don't think Rising's defense is going to have too much worry by Vegas. If Rising can break down Vegas's low block, though, that's where they'll succeed. And I'm a bit iffy about that.
Okay. Okay. Who else do we like coming out from Phoenix Rising? Who can be a real difference maker in this one?
From Rising's perspective, I mean, it's got to be the different members of the attack, right? I mean, we know that Remy Cabral looks to have made the trip up there. Who starts up top? That's going to be a big question as the number 9. Do we see Joe Margarita getting more minutes? That could be an important part in this one, right? We know what this team is capable of doing with him, bearing in mind they're not going to have him with them for very long until he's going away for international duty.
Yeah.
That one's coming up, and that's going to impact his availability for this club, possibly even immediately after he gets back as well, because he could have quite a few games under the legs in a short space of time. I mean, elsewise, you look at guys like Damian Rivera, Hope Avayevu, who's been huge in terms of creating chances, in terms of taking some slightly weirder shots on, and them working. I mean, that New Mexico one, perfect example. That shouldn't have ended up in the back of the net, but if you don't try, you're not going to get.
Yeah.
I think all of those guys individually, I mean, Isan Sacco, does he find a way to kind of, or Remy Cabral, do either of them really do something in this game that kind of sees them put their case forward and say, I need to be the starter going forward permanently? Can either of them do that? And that's going to be a big part of this one. Again, if you're struggling to break down a low block, if you can go and get this done and prove that you can do it in a game like this, you're really making a good case for yourself going forward.
It is. I mean, I think, we've seen that there's definitely talent up front. And I think, weirdly enough, which we haven't been able to say perhaps in recent rising seasons, that really on those wings, those have been not only consistent, but you actually have a variety of options there where I don't want to say it's anyone you put in on the wings are going to contribute, but I think at least the level is not going to drop off quite as much than, you can say in recent seasons, right? You have a multitude of guys where, 3, 4, even 5%, kind of guys deep in that rotation where you put them on either wing, they're going to bring in something. And that's with some of the injuries coming into the fold, right? The number 9 position, that is an interesting one where we have seen when guys have their moments, right? You see, for example, Remy Cabral, San Antonio away, right? Like very stand-up performance. And then, you see not soon after, it's not necessarily a bad one, but it's like, right, how can we continue to see this club raise the levels and keep the levels there? That's going to be interesting. And I just think something that, as you guys are mentioning, from a week-to-week perspective, it just trying to find that consistency from the number 9 position.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the one guy I'd pick out to have maybe not a good game, but that needs to be impactful to have for Rising to have a good game is again Hope. But I also think he has potential to have a good game because the last couple of games Vegas have done a very poor job defending crosses. I mean, against Sacramento, as I think 3 or 4 of the goals came off Sacramento just playing in perfect balls, and Hope is very good at those moments, whether it's an actual cross or from corner set pieces. That's where Rising needs to take advantage of Vegas's foolishness in these scenarios.
Yeah. We'll have to see. What do you think? Score.
Oh,
boy.
I'm going to go 1-1 on the road. A little bit of a weird break in the middle. I don't think Rising fails to score in this game, but I don't necessarily. I'm going to go with 1-1. And quite frankly, I know Vegas have had their struggles. I think you take the point in that moment. I think that you honestly take the point in that moment, and away from home, not the worst result that you could possibly have.
I'm gonna go 1-0 Rising. I kind of struggle to see Vegas scoring a goal, to be honest. I know they scored against El Paso, but El Paso plays so openly, and I just think that Rising's defense has taken that step forward, like we said earlier. And I think 1 will be more than enough to beat this Vegas team. So,
okay. So you got 1-1. You got 1-0.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll also go 1-0. Yeah, I think it's
Rising.
Yeah, I think there's one. I think fair. I think there's one Rising grinds out a result, grinds out all 3 points. I think this actually could be one where they, that is going to be the struggle. Can they open this club up? I think they're going to have some moments, but yeah, they'll take a goal and they'll settle with it. No problem. Kev in the chat, 2-1 Rising. James Wilson, 2-1 Rising. Devin also saying 2-1 Rising. We got 3 for 3 in the chat. 2-1.
Lots of 2-1s.
Favorite Phoenix, right? Anyone want to venture a goal scorer by chance?
Whoever starts as the 9 for me.
Okay.
Difficult. You know what's one way to get goals against the team that'll sit in a low block?
Penalty?
You Ryan Flood it.
Oh gosh.
Ryan Flood.
I would not mind seeing that.
Calling for
I'm gonna say it.
Flood get the start.
I don't know if he gets the start. I'm gonna say a Ryan Flood goal again in this one.
That's crazy.
Be there for that?
That's crazy. Give me Rivera.
You want Rivera?
Yeah.
Any reason?
Just feel it.
Just feeling it.
Feel it?
Yeah, man.
Will it be a
Damon? What's your
goal
prediction, mate?
5-0. 5-0 Rising.
It's funny you say that because Vegas did lose a game 5-0 recently against struggling Sacramento Republic. Struggling to that point, that is. Sacramento Republic.
Knows.
Damon, did you even know that they'd just about lost the game 5-0?
Of course.
A week and a half ago?
I'm locked in on USL like that.
Oh, yeah.
Eat, sleep, breathe it.
Oh, man.
100%. It'd be quite funny if that did happen, mind.
I'd have a chuckle.
I think I predicted on Diamondbacks opening day the year after they went to the World Series. I think I predicted like 20-0 against the Rockies, and they legitimately won like 18-0. It was pretty insane.
So not 20.
So you got
but
wrong.
I mean, okay. So maybe it ends up being 4-0. Is everyone not happy with that? Does that not sound great?
Let's see. James Wilson in chat. He's got Hope and Margarita scoring. Amanda, she's got Hope with a goal as well. Kevin in chat, Flood and Sacco scoring. Okay. We got all the variety here. I love it. It's very, this is, timing, folks, if we can rewind the clock back, timing is a funny thing. Consistency and form is a funny thing. Were we not all saying about a month and a half ago, not even, that if we were going to get multiple people 2-1 in the chat for Phoenix Rising, where are we? What world are we on? It's crazy.
Phoenix Rising.
Phoenix Rising Football Club.
Phoenix Rising Football Club. Well, there are, there's a second matchup we'll talk about, right?
Your favorite.
Yeah,
everyone's favorite.
I know we got some time.
Owen's favorite vacation destination.
We got some time till the next pod. So Phoenix Rising is, of course, playing everyone's favorite New Mexico United, and we will talk about that right on the other side of the break. Listen, if you're talking about New Mexico United, right? You're talking about playing this club.
This is taking a very dangerous route here.
You're talking about this club, and you're thinking, hey, what's one way I can enjoy this? Well, it's with our friends at Pure Edibles. It's with our friends at Pure Edibles. It's a great way to enjoy a little, New Mexico United away game action, dare I say.
The game's not away, thankfully.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You don't have to go there.
Thank goodness. But yes, New Mexico United, you got to get some Pure Edibles in your system if you're, of course, 21 years or older to enjoy responsibly. They are Arizona's gummies. They have the full lineup, including gummies, kicks, which is their version of Starburst, chews, soft candies like caramel. I say caramel sometimes, and hard candies as well. Pure offers gummies for sleep support as well as candies with uplifting effects derived from all the good cannabinoids, the CBN, the CBG, the CBD, and of course, THC, if that is your fancy, right? They are all throughout the state. They're in over 130 dispensaries across Arizona. And again, you do not have to travel to New Mexico, as Rising is not as well. Right?
Thankfully.
Yeah, I know. You don't get to go to vacation in New Mexico, which is unfortunate. But check them out. Pure Edibles throughout the state. Go find yourself some today. And again, 130 dispensaries throughout Arizona. Must be 20 years or older to enjoy responsibly. Also, check out our friends at Shady Rays. It's going to be a hot one, guys. I don't know if you know this. It is summertime out in, Arizona, in Phoenix Rising Stadium. I guess it's not technically till June 21st. But before then, Shady Rays. Go to shadyrays.com. Use promo code PHNX, and you're going to get 35% off your order.
Is that because you're making up the difference, Max?
Well, no.
Max is buying Shady Rays.
Okay, hold on for a second. Shady Rays.
Max is buying sunglasses.
Shady Rays.
For everyone.
Shady Rays is a great company. It is all that we're repping here within PHNX throughout ALLCITY.
Max is buying Shady Rays.
I'm not buying Shady Rays.
You are.
They have all the different ones. They can even fit a mug like yours or Harry Maguire over there. But
that's just disrespectful.
That's
just the most disrespectful thing I've ever been called.
.com. Use the promo code PHNX to save 35% off your order and look good doing it. Tell them Max Simpson sent you and PHNX as well.
Shady Rays. Max Simpson's buying.
Okay, that's crazy. All right.
Did you just call him Harry Maguire?
Yeah, did that slip out?
That's the most disrespectful, rude.
After all the things you say on, we're back. We're not losing our cool.
Harry Maguire.
I'm looking at him, and I don't see.
We're Europa winning. We're Europa League.
No,
trophy
I'm looking at Rees right now, and I just don't see the slab head.
Guys, I'll be honest. That's just not how friends talk to each other.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
That is not how friends talk to each other.
I think that's way too far, Max. You can't do that.
Just saying, I owe a
you
polar
know what?
pop.
You do owe a polar pop.
That's actually
but
fair.
I'm also going to say this. I think after saying such a mean thing to Rees, you should be apologizing to him by buying him some Shady Rays at this point.
And the polar pop.
And a polar. He'll take the
and
polar
maybe a
pop
hat too.
He
from
will.
Brandon Bills, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just
okay.
So you get him an ASU one, not the other stuff there. I mean, it's.
And a round of sunglasses for everybody here in the chat and on this.
Yeah, no,
table.
totally.
Totally. Yeah, that to me sounds like agreement. Doesn't it sound like agreement to you?
Yeah, clip it and put it out there. Okay, I'm buying Shady Rays. Wait. Scary. All right. We're back.
Max is getting a tattoo.
Stop it. Stop it. No.
Max is buying tattoos for
we
people.
learned our lesson. Also, I love in the chat, everyone already saying Harry Maguire. Darius, what a guy. Again, we're a couple likes away if you guys want me to sing, so keep on hitting that like button.
We want him to sing?
Get some burner
No,
accounts.
have you got any
Hit the
burner
like.
accounts,
It's good for
Reese?
y'all.
Get in there.
I do.
It's
Get
good.
in there and like. Get in there and like.
It's good for the algorithm. You
Come
know,
on, let him talk as
I
we
don't know
keep
if I
going.
want Max to sing though. That's
We
quite
do
the
because it'll
conundrum.
embarrass himself.
you know what
on the
else was
show, so
good
that's
for the
all right.
algorithm? Let's talk about New Mexico United, right?
Is that good for the algorithm?
It's an algorithm. I don't know if it's good, right? Last time, Phoenix Rising played them, good things happen, right? Again, this was the doom and gloom scenario. Phoenix Rising, they go, they go 90 minutes.
Mhm.
Houston Dynamo, the Open Cup. What's another half hour? Result doesn't go their way.
What's another half hour, Max? 30 minutes.
Huh?
Good math. That's that ASU education. Let's go. Anyway, then the Doomsday
That
scenario.
one doesn't even get a laugh out of Damon.
I know. I'm
there.
actually kind of surprised. Anyway,
shocked.
the Doomsday scenario. 3 days later.
I'm working back here,
That's
guys.
fair. You are. The Doomsday scenario. 3 days later, you travel to the abyss that is Albuquerque, New Mexico, and you have to play New Mexico United away, who top of the table, doing well, and Phoenix Rising win, and not just win. Listen, we had our debate on the show, but there were clear-cut chances. They did not park the bus and just held them to a 1-0 victory. No, it was a solid 2-1 win, convincing. You play them now, couple weeks later, as the month's turning into June. Is this going to be a different matchup than what we've seen when they played about 3 weeks ago?
It's a different competition.
It is a different competition. I think
We're
that's
not gonna
actually
mention the
going to be.
competition.
No, I think it is a big difference, though, as you look at this and you think about the fact that it's going from a regular season game to the Jagermeister Cup. Because I
Okay,
don't
we
think
just
that Rising
said
are going to take the Jagermeister Cup as seriously as they will the game on Wednesday, right? Rightly or wrongly. And I understand, right? You go in and say, we want to win everything. Great. Fantastic. Love it. Not likely to happen. You are going to have to prioritize at some point. You lost that opening game of the Jagermeister Cup. You can make a choice to go for it, or you can realistically do what I think would be the sensible thing in this case, whereby you're not going to say, oh, forget about the weekend, but you're going to say, we put the first team out on Wednesday and we're going to see where we are on Saturday.
Yeah.
If guys have got tired legs come Saturday, oh, well, okay. You may have to make some changes, but you'll see when you get there. That'll be an issue for Saturday. I don't see that as something that you really overly think about now on Wednesday. Now, New Mexico don't have a midweek game again. And New Mexico, since that game when Rising went to Albuquerque, and again, you're right, they deserve the result they came away with, right? They went out there. Yes, they didn't park the bus, but they were very, I think, defensively solid. They didn't let New Mexico do very much at all in that game. And again, that's partly on both hands, I think, right? New Mexico didn't play very well at all. Yeah. But I also think that Rising created their own luck a lot there. They came in with a good game plan. They executed it well. And they ultimately managed to come away with the results. And maybe they had their hint of luck late in the game, and maybe New Mexico should have had a penalty. Maybe New Mexico is still going to be feeling a little bit sore about that one. I don't know. We'll find out, won't we, on that front? But
yeah.
I mean, I will say that they've won both of their games since that point 3-0. All on the road as well. So
recipe.
Interesting, eh?
Yeah. Kevin, the chat, I think focus has to be on the league rather than the brand redacted cup, especially since they're already down a game.
Well, the Jager Cup.
And then James in the chat saying he doesn't disagree, but letting New Mexico have the pleasure of beating us is also not exciting. It's a tough one, right? It is a tough one on how you manage. I mean, I do agree by and large. I mean, it's not just the fact, I think, whether you're prioritizing the league or not, it's trying to figure out, right, you have a lot of games coming up. Your next game, especially after such a long break, I think you have to roll out your best starting 11 against Vegas. It's the next match. It is the league. And to your point, Owen, I would say yes. See how the legs are doing. Hopefully you had those 10 days off. It helps with the boys being able to have some of that refreshness and that you're able to play at least, give or take, handful of guys, both matches. You have to see what kind of where depth is and injuries and everything like that, but go from there.
Yeah. One thing, the question from Kevin on how New Mexico did in their earlier Jagermeister Cup game. Okay. They won that 2-0 at home against Union Omaha, so they are still in a position to realistically get out of the group stages of the Jagermeister Cup. But we'll have to see if they, at this point, it's 1 game in, and there's 4, I believe, isn't it? 4. Jagermeister Cup group stage games in a group of more than 4.
7.
I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The competition format for the Jagermeister Cup is a bit like they've just gone, how do we just pull this out of nowhere? What can we do that makes the least amount of sense possible? But I mean, I guess it feels like you've had a bit of a night on the Jagermeister, to be honest, and that's how they came up with the Jagermeister Cup.
What was the competition called again?
Jagermeister Cup, to be clear.
I missed that.
It's like the USL Care About Cup.
Okay.
Head on over to Circle K.
Okay. What?
Head on over to Circle K.
Head on over to Circle K.
They supply that there, of course.
They do. Good man. You know what? It's a good save. Are we at 15 likes? Oh boy.
We are at 15 likes. You are going to have to sing at some point, Max.
Well, give me a second. I'll work this in real quick. I gave Damon this little number. Reese, this for you. Sama, waka, 17th. I don't know how. We want it in Bilbao.
I thought you were going to be singing about Vegas.
No, that's all I got.
Because it was all about Vegas.
There we go. You're welcome.
I thought you were singing about Kai Havertz, everyone's favorite striker here, huh?
Oh boy, here we. Oh look.
I thought you were going. I thought
stewing.
To Kevin's comment there, no, not top 2. Top 1 qualifies, and 2 second place teams will qualify from, I believe it's 6 groups off the top of my head. 7.
I think 6. I hope it can't be 7, surely.
Yeah, so you're not guaranteed to go through if you finish second.
Yeah, 6
you have to win the group to guarantee progression. You may go through in second place, but also if you qualify as a team that finished in second place, you will be on the road for the quarterfinal.
This is massive because given Rising's group, you're second from the bottom. Not ideal.
Yeah, but
I know it's been one match, but even
he also got to play Tex Oma still.
Hey! No,
revenge match.
No,
let's go.
No, he's Texas. You've been giving him bulletin board material for years.
Can you imagine he just drops a hat trick in that game? It's 3 of the best goals you'll ever see.
Yeah.
And it doesn't score
I'm
for
not
2
even
more
imagining.
years.
We can see it. We can see it happening.
Genuinely insane.
He's genuinely one of the worst players I've ever seen play for this club. I'm sorry.
Bad guy.
What do we think for this New Mexico game, though, overall? Just big picture?
Big pictures in, like, what does this mean for the club, or just like how
he says doesn't matter.
It's Jagermeister Cup. I mean, it doesn't get you to play in November. You know, I mean, is it an opportunity for a trophy? Technically, yes.
I mean,
but the format just
okay. I mean, I'm looking at who's in this group, and again, you can't draw all the parallels from league play or anything, but like Phoenix Rising, they should at least be able to try to, attempt go for at least the top 2 spots. Listen, I do agree with what you guys are saying of you line up your strongest squad on Wednesday, but I think, again, in this scenario, it works in your favor to where you had so much rest. I don't want to say it doesn't matter. I'm not going to go that far. I'm also not going to prioritize it over the league, especially given that has been a quote-unquote high priority for Rising in recent seasons, and they haven't delivered on it in recent seasons. So you really do need to lay the groundwork now, especially given how uneasy the first month and a half was. That being said, I don't know if you're rating, if you're rating like the importance of this brand redacted cup,
Jagermeister Cup.
I'll give it like a
journalistic integrity, Max. Jagermeister.
Yeah, call it by its name.
Not a big J. I'll give it like a 6 right now, 6 or 7, somewhere in there. Like you want to put out like right. I'm expecting. Give at least half the squad starting guys rolling out. Maybe I'm going to take 6, 7 guys starting from Wednesday and just roll out, but kind of go from there. I want to see some guys playing, especially you're at home too. Makes it easier. You already know next week's match as well is at home. Like I think you have to kind of go for it at least a little bit. If this was, if there was less rest, if there was maybe more travel, sure, it complicates it a bit. The fact that you now have multiple matches in a row at home, the fact that you're on all of that rest, and the fact that your next match is for another week, I think you kind of have to. It gives you more incentive to go for it.
I get you. I still just get Virtu Trophy vibes from this entire competition. That's a cup I'm going to get used to learning about in the near future.
Listen, non-domestic.
have to
I don't know if you realize this,
very
guys, but
true.
non-domestic trophies are actually very important. In fact, all the really big clubs in the world are winning them. Thank you very much.
Exactly, like Arsenal winning the Champions League.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's cool. Yeah.
He's trying so hard not to.
Anyway,
But
else
anyway,
we have?
I don't get like the feeling that I think. Look, if you start this tournament off well, great, all well and good. But when you're kind of looking at it and going, it's an uphill battle, you didn't have the best start.
But we're not
You
there
didn't
yet.
have the best start.
We're not there
in
yet.
The league,
Okay.
so you
Okay,
kind of
that's
wanna focus your resources there a little bit more, and it's just not. I mean, look, yes, obviously you want to keep the good run of form going, however that may be, however that may look. But it's still just I don't know. I don't know if you care that much, to be perfectly frank about it. And we'll see how much they care on the weekend. Obviously, again, in the past, when we've asked Pa-Modou Kah about this, he was like picking between competitions as though it was picking between his children. How do you do so? And
I feel bad for the kid. That's the Jagermeister Cup, to be honest.
Well, I don't think he didn't take it seriously, and he may well take it seriously this weekend. That's the thing. But I'm just saying, if you had to sacrifice one, you sacrifice it.
No,
Especially in the current scenario whereby you have lost a game, you're
100%.
fighting an uphill battle, you may well not really get a chance to get out of this mess.
Yeah, again, by and large, if you're saying pick one between the two, yeah, you're sacrificing the brand redacted cup. Totally,
The
get that.
Jagermeister Cup, yeah.
Totally get that. But I don't think we're at that point yet. I think you're at the point where you are one game into this whole competition. All the other optics are favorable of your aspect. If you're choosing between the two, roll out your stronger starting 11 on Wednesday. But then after that, I mean, go for it. Like I think you don't have anything to lose, and we'll have to see what happens. If this is again future ones, this could be a very different scenario.
Worth noting that because Rising has lost San Antonio in their opening game now, so you don't play San Antonio again, and San Antonio have 3 points out of 3 potential points, that it is not in Rising's hands at the moment to win this group.
This is true.
Okay, you're not playing the team that you're going to knock off to win the group. That you've already played them and you lost to them. So at this point, I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, yeah, it's been one match, so we'll have to see. I mean, even looking far ahead, their next match up in the Brand Redacted Cup is away to Springs, so never an easy place to play. Again, we'll have to see, but take it one at a time. What do we got for a score line?
2-1 New Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you okay? Let me ask this. So 2-1 New Mexico. How many starters from Wednesday are out there over the weekend?
I'll go 7.
Okay.
I'm going to go 8.
I think
maybe
New
9
Mexico is
even.
just going to be so hungry because, they might feel hard done by how the previous match against Rising went, but also it is still a rivalry game. You get a chance to beat Rising on their home turf, and I don't think Rising's won at 30th Street in Washington.
No,
versus
they've
New Mexico.
never won at
Correct.
30th
That's
Street
crazy.
in Washington
Yeah.
against
Which
New Mexico.
It's only 2 games, but still.
Still
It's
crazy.
still 2 games. The other thing I note there is that New Mexico aren't winning rivalry games right now. They lost to El Paso. They, of course, drew and ultimately lost a penalty shootout in the Open Cup. I think they're going to be hungry to actually. They're going to have that bit more of a chip on the shoulder of like, we got to beat one of these teams eventually. I'm intrigued to see it.
Can't end 1-1. It's got to go to penalties, Kevin.
Yeah, it goes to penalties. If it's a draw after 90 minutes, it goes to a penalty.
It's true.
shootout.
He's at least saying it's gonna be a draw after 90
for an additional point.
All right, so you had one.
To be fair, it will then be 1-0.
2-1.
2-1. What do you have?
I think Kevin might be onto something here. I might go 1-1.
1-0.
Who's your penalty?
And you said 7. Rees said 7 are
Yeah.
carrying over from Wednesday. Owen said 8.
Give me a Chris Shakes meltdown. Rising wins the shootout. He had one against El Paso in the Open Cup.
No, that's fair.
I don't know. We never know.
Man, oh man. I mean,
He's loving that right there. He's loving that right there.
I mean, you know, New Mexico.
And it's going to be like, hang on, can I just say,
Yes,
sorry,
man.
it's going to be like, I don't know, who would you say is the most chaotic rising player right now?
I don't know.
I feel like Noble gets in the middle of a lot of things. Noble Okello with the winning penalty, just kind of like looking over at him, and Chris Shakes is just going to have the
Oh, I'm thinking Marga there, just because it's
Marga
an aura
also.
moment.
Aura moment. I know, but like you just need that person to just look at him the wrong way after you win, and then that's it. You just have a Shakes meltdown.
James in the chat.
Remy Cabral, maybe? I don't know.
Oh,
I mean,
Music
crazy.
to my ears.
5-0 for Rising.
I
James
don't
Wilson.
think I see that one in this
Man, he's
one.
got, not only James Wilson got back-to-back wins, but he's got, if I'm remembering correctly, he also had a 2-1. He's got an aggregate scoreline over these two matches 7-1 in favor of Phoenix Rising over Vegas and New Mexico. My word.
Oh, wow.
My word. Dame in the chat. 2-1 Rising. I think I'm going to go, I could see this going either way. I am tempted for Pens. I'm going to go 1-0 New Mexico. I think this solidifies their brand redacted cup a little bit further and fate. And they probably, maybe not bow out completely of this competition, but it's very much out of their hands to at least qualify.
I'm just going to comment right now on James Wilson's comment there. I wonder if there are any tickets available for the Saturday night match. Guys, are any of you coming?
Max, are you coming? Are you
Max,
coming
is Max coming?
Of course I'll be there, guys.
I hear there's going to be a sighting of a certain USL celebrity will be there, so make sure to
I
come
already
along
told you
for
I'm
that.
coming. Come on.
And it's not Max Simpson. But is anyone...
But seeing Max at a Rising game's like seeing Bigfoot, to be
Look
honest.
at Max's face right now.
Not that comment, what Owen showed me on screen. Let's see, Kev in the chat. Greg
it's
Hurst
cooked.
misses
It's
for
cooked.
Rising to win. Be interesting.
I've seen him miss a penalty before. Sacramento away in the Open Cup.
Just gonna throw this out there. I've never missed a penalty.
How do you remember that?
I'm just gonna throw this
Because
out.
I was there,
Just gonna throw
standing
this.
behind that goal.
Was that the
Wondering-
one where the kit matchup was the same on TV?
Well, it looked terrible on TV,
Yeah.
but yes.
Just
And
gonna
that was
throw this
also
one
one
out
where if
there.
Rising had won that game,
those of you who are
they could have
listening.
prevented Sacramento Republic
I'm Max David Simpson. I've never missed a penalty in my life.
from making the Open Cup
Never.
final.
Max, could you make a penalty against New Mexico United?
I can make a penalty.
Jagermeister Cup group game.
I've
on
never
the
missed
line.
a penalty.
Biggest stage in
why
world
would I
football.
miss one now,
It's
bro?
the
I've never missed
Jagermeister
one.
Cup.
I've
group
never
stage.
missed one.
And
I've never missed
I don't know,
one.
Max. This is
Nothing
one of
my
the
track
biggest
record
stages
says I
in
missed
this
one.
When the
sport. I know
lights
back
are
him.
on and it's the Jagermeister Cup, you've got a shot at glory, Max.
Biggest moment of your life.
And he puts it past the post.
Wait, hold on. Is that
No,
I
this
can't,
man.
I can't acknowledge
this
that.
man.
My fiance would beg to differ.
You know what I'll
That'd
say?
be bad.
You know what I'll say?
I think he Harry Canes it.
no
25
no,
yards over.
No, you know what
This
I'll
is actually-
say? You know what
this
I'll
is
say?
kinda
And I
He's
wanna
wearing a
put-
Harry Kane shirt. So.
I want to give some strong
We call that
respect right
socking
now.
it.
Yeah.
He actually misses it. He doesn't put it over.
You know what I'll say?
Mrs.
Much respect to the guy
Thank
because
you.
he actually has scored a penalty since, so he learned from his mistake.
Yeah.
But I say this man Quayshow in the finals.
Tries to be cheeky.
That was possibly the worst penalty I've ever seen.
I've never
That
won
was,
that.
I'm sorry. I
You-
don't
okay,
know.
No, there's
that's,
nothing
that's
worse than
actually,
that.
I am
That
flat,
was-
I am flattered that you think
I'm
I
still
have the
sick from that.
grace and the coup de grace to even try that. I
You keep
don't.
telling us you could score, so yeah, you are that.
Max,
cocky.
what would you do? Would you just put it
I can't
top?
tell. I can't. You want me to leak my information?
Well,
you wanna,
You're
wanna,
never going to take
Yeah,
one
'cause
against
Rising-
these
not with
guys.
that attitude. I'm not.
Rising's going to sign you to a 25-day contract to
Give
give
me
you
a
one
25-hour
appearance.
contract. I don't care. Put
It's
me
not in the
the
USLCBA.
Yeah, it's very true.
Come on, Max.
Have you
fair.
not studied the collective bargaining agreement, Max?
No.
Are you serious?
No.
No, Max doesn't believe in unions. And on that note,
Wow.
thank you for joining us today.
Wow, we're a little early for that. Kevin in the chat, Max is Max Hurricane. I'm wearing a Hurricane kit. Champions League, baby, we're back. Spurs are Europa League champions.
Who cares?
Can we mute his mic,
I
please,
promise you.
Damon?
No one cares that much, Max. We care about.
He's oh yes, he's muted. Second show in a row we've done this. Great.
We care about a night in Lisbon, even though it's technically daytime. But What happened there, Max? This Saturday.
He can't speak.
So it doesn't even matter.
Mic's been muted. I hear, unlike them, you guys are actually champions of Europe. So you can say that.
Okay,
fair.
good. Okay, I'm assuming you're unmuted. Yeah, good.
Doesn't matter, Max.
That's crazy.
Is he unmuted now? Oh, we have to listen to Max again.
You get to.
That's a shame. Well, Max, do you want to sing us off?
Sing us up.
Sing a Wrexham song
No,
for us, Max.
no.
It is, by the way, quite a
No,
story.
no.
We're talking about our clubs. Owen, we haven't had a chance to talk about Cardiff.
Oh, yeah, we got relegated. Yeah, I've said this.
And wait, you said you're going to meet, Wrexham's going down, but they're actually going up. They leapfrogged you.
I don't think anyone... Max, you keep saying this.
Look at Reese's face. He's so happy. How's the face? David, we love Wrexham. You're not on the pod as often. What do we think of our beloved Wrexham?
I just think what a remarkable season from the lads.
Cinderella story.
It was, and there were people in this room. We won't name names, Owen, who said that they were going to have trouble, and by them I mean us. We were going to have trouble getting promoted again this season. And what happens? Cardiff being sent down.
Super Paul Mullen.
Super Paul Mullen's going to do nothing in the championship.
He said that for League One.
He's going to do nothing in the championship.
Reese, he did doubt Super Paul Mullen in League One.
What did he do in League One?
Scored 3 goals.
3 goals.
3 goals.
No penalties. He's not a penalty merchant. He just scored 3 goals the ethical way.
He's got as many goals as he's got
Ethical
yellow
hoops.
cards this season. What a striker.
So he's involved. He's involved in the match.
Paul Mullen's leadership helped corral the team and boost team morale all season long. They don't make it without him.
This is such a heartwarming story. I feel a Hollywood show
I would love to see a documentary.
Oh yes, this is totally documentary worthy.
4 seasons.
I can't wait for the movie when they do the movie after they get promoted to the Premier League. My God,
that's gonna
scenes, limbs, Owen.
That's gonna hit.
I just know that one of these days Max Simpson is going to make a pilgrimage to the grim. I don't even know if I can call it a city at this point. Town of Wrexham. Is it a city? Does it have city status? Did they give? I feel like they may have given him city status recently.
Jamie Vardy to Wrexham? Who says no? Who says no?
Wow,
crazy.
Wow,
We're
that's
still a town.
I love
it is
that
a city
idea.
technically, but I can see Max making the pilgrimage there to watch Disney FC with his Mickey Mouse ears on as well.
He might carry us to the Prem. Vardy, wearing red and green, he's always meant to be.
For the mighty Red Dragons.
That's crazy. He drinks that drink that has red in it. So there we go. Boom. That's all we'll say.
What drink is
It'd be
that?
quite funny because the last time he touched a club that was American involved, it died.
Rest in peace, Rochester.
Rochester, New York FC. Bye.
All right.
Wrexham's getting liquidated.
Well,
don't wish that on our mighty club.
As we get out of here, just a reminder.
Welcome to the Northwest Counties League.
As we get out of here, just a reminder, if you want to be the cool kids and join Damon Dog and others for our PHNX Diamondbacks pool party takeover at Chase Field on July 3rd, day before 4th of July. We're doing it. We're renting out the pool yet again. It's going to be a darn good time. Get tickets today. Tickets include ticket to the pool, complimentary food, beverages, and some might even say an admin might make an appearance and maybe you get some free stuff from them. But yeah, enjoy it today. Again, go to gophnx.com, grab your ticket there. It's a fantastic time. Damon enjoyed it. We all enjoy it. Let's go. And on that note, appreciate everyone joining us here on the PHNX Wrexham. The PHNX Europa Winning League Champions.
Champions League?
the PHNX Rising podcast. Make sure to.
See, he doesn't pay attention to that because Max is being, I think, very rude.
Make sure to relevant. Make sure to follow at PHNX __ Rising double the underscore.
Double the Jagermeister Cup.
Double the goals Paul Mullen scores in the
Not
Champions League.
I like yours better.
Not like you.
You can follow me on Twitter at Max David Simpson. You can follow Owen on Twitter at OJEvans18. You can follow Reese on Twitter at Reese11 _ and you can follow Damon Dog at Damon DAWG. Of course, join us next week.
Max, you doing all right, mate? You sound like you had a weird
I did. I had to acknowledge Damon. He's not always on the pod. Leave a like on your way out. We'll be back here Wednesday once again, 6 p.m. Owen's abandoning us. Mr. Vacations is out.
I forgot about that.
Real miserable. You'll be joined by Reese and I, and we're gonna have a good time. But till next time, go watch Phoenix Rising. Go follow us on all the socials, interact in Discord, all that fun stuff. And it's a beautiful game, but it's way more beautiful when Spurs are still Europa League
Arsenal winning the
champions.
Champions League.
Y'all silly like the mayor.